expected return, or cost of equity capital, or required rate of return for Coke and NVIDIA. Coke, beta of Coke, it's good. Come on. You can find it under statistics tab. They keep changing what it is. Point 40. For NVIDIA, that's 227. So taking this method of estimating beta seriously, essentially, NVIDIA is 5.5 times more sensitive to systematic risk or the market risk. Take RF to be 4% and market risk premium to be 5%, and expected return for any portfolio is equal to risk-free rate plus beta of that portfolio times MRP. MRP is short for market risk premium. So expected return for Coke is going to be 4%. I'm going to just put 4 plus 0.40 times 5. So that's 6. So when I'm using dividend growth model, residual income model, or I am evaluating an investment project for Coke, I'm going to use 6%, assuming company is all equity financed. It's not, but we'll handle that issue in chapter 13 after the exam. On the other hand, expected return for NVIDIA, 4 plus 2.27 times 5, 1535. Do you guys remember when we were using NVIDIA as an example for those dividend growth models and stuff? I used the 15% return. I didn't take that number out of the thin air. I basically made a mental calculation without telling you how I got it. So for a NVIDIA project to be acceptable, it needs to be bringing in a lot of cash flow relative to a Coke one. Why? Because with a Coke project, you're not taking as much risk, assuming we're talking on average Coke project. Obviously, not all projects are created equally, but in that case, you make adjustments for that. On the other hand, for NVIDIA, I require a higher rate of return. Now, let me actually show this to you on the textbook. Because I have only about a few minutes left. Okay. If using this equation that I call security market line, let me highlight that. It should be markets. If I created a graph where I have the beta or the risk uh, on the horizontal axis, and I have the expected return on the vertical axis, I would get this graph. This is called the security market line. In theory, if an asset is properly priced, it should place exactly on this line. Okay. Going back to that example where market risk premium is 5% and risk-free rate is 4%. If you have a beta of 0.8, your expected return should be 4 plus 4, 8. If you have a beta of 2, your expected return should be 14. Okay? But you would place on this line. And this line would have an intercept at the risk-free rate, because if there is no systematic risk, the only thing you can earn is the risk-free rate. But every once in a while, there will be mispricings. If a portfolio is placed below the securities market line, basically for the same level of risk, it is not returning as much as it should, right? Because if it was properly priced, I should be here. So the return is not as high as it should be, which means the price is too high. So any portfolio that places below the security market line is overpriced. Any portfolio, let's say you place over here, you are underpriced. Because for the same level of risk, you should be returning, you should be giving less return. But if you're giving a lot of return, which means your price is too low. Okay. Let me mention one more thing. Uh, Unlike standard deviation as a measure of risk, uh, Beto portfolios can be easily calculated as a weighted average of individual betas. So if you have n assets with each weight of W1 through Wn, beta portfolio is equal to weight of the first asset times beta of the first asset, dot, weight of the nth asset times and note that beta of the market portfolio is equal to 1 and beta of risk-free assets is always equal to 0. Okay. Let's stop here. I'm gonna render the videos of these later tonight and tomorrow afternoon, and I'll post those videos for those of you who learned in certain classes, as well as the homework assignments tomorrow afternoon. And remember, for those of you who are late, we're going to have the second midterm next Wednesday, not Monday. And we'll do a review session this Friday at 4 and next Tuesday at 4 on Zoom only. I'll see you guys Monday or on Zoom earlier. I'll see you in person on Monday.